afternoon. Well, I'm sorry I'm late, but I had an appointment that was at 3 and I thought, oh, I won't be back in time for 4, so I thought I'd make it 4:30. So I have also just discovered whilst setting up the laptop that I said that I was going live in 115 minutes. Yeah, that wasn't quite right. I meant 15 minutes. But hey, that's the way the world goes for me. It's never quite perfect, but there we go. Anyway, this is part 5 of my using everyday household items to help create backgrounds. Oh, is it part 4? Oh no, I'm really confused. Don't worry, I'll figure it out eventually. But the important thing is, I'm here, I have something to share with you, and I do hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the camera around. Hi guys, if you'd like to say hi and let me know where you are, that would be lovely, because all I can see, I know Kay's there because I know Kay's picture. Oh, you were waiting at 4. I'm sorry. Hi, Ali. Oh, I really confused the world today, haven't I? My apologies. But anyway, I'm here now, so let's get to it. Okay. On the blog today, I have shared this card. I really, really like it. I hope you do too. It's super simple, doesn't take any major skills or products or anything else. It's just stamps, ink and paper. And I love the black and white effect. I think it's beautiful. This is the gorgeous stamp set that I've used. It's called Happiness Abounds, and it has these lovely florals and leaves and lovely sentiments that I really like the way they're written. The font, that's the word I was looking for. Oh, you've got a nice spot of light on there, but is that better? Not really. So I really wanted to use these. If you read my blog post, you can find out why. Our blog is twobiggirlscrafting.blogspot.com. So anyway, should we get on with how I created this one? Because what we're going to do is we're going to recreate this card. And then we're going to step it up a little bit. So I've already pre-cut my card base. I have my handy dandy bone folder. So let's create the card base. Give it a good scrape. There we go. You don't need those. I'll put those away. I've been busy making projects for an upcoming in-person all-day class on Saturday. I'm super excited. It's going to be hybrid, so because Kay and Ali are both going to be joining us, but via the wonders of Zoom. So anyway, we've got our card base. I'm using this, which is basically it's sticky notes on a reel. You could use sticky notes, you could use low-tack masking tape, whatever you're comfortable with. You could use a piece of scrap paper, you know, a piece of, what do we call it, copier paper, and just put it in place like that and then move it. It's up to you. So first off, these stamps are photopolymer, so they're super easy to look after and super easy to use. So we're just going to pop him down so that he can retract a little bit, and then we'll pop the block on top and we're ready to rock and roll. I'm going to be using Memento simply because I wanted to have a nice black outline. Or shall I change that? Do you know what? I think I'm going to change my mind on that. I'm going to put that black away. I'm going to move this humongous pile of things I have beside me that you can't see, because I don't know about you, but I always work in a mess. And I'm going to get the beautiful Starry Sky ink pad. You all know it's my favourite collection of inks, but I think it will work nicely with the colours I have in mind. So I'm going to gently tap, tap, tap to pick up the ink on my stamp. And then I'm going to stamp randomly across the whole of the front of my card. Now, I recommend not trying to be too perfect about this, but if you're doing the top, don't go over the bottom line, and vice versa. When you're doing here, don't go over the top. And that's because we want to create that nice edge around our sentiment strip. It's a fun way to get space with no extra cardstock for writing your sentiments or putting your sentiments, stamping your sentiments. Okay, shall I put a little bit up there? Yes, I am going to put a little bit up there. You like them too, don't you, Kay? Yes, I do too. Very fond of these in colours. There we go. So we've got Starry Sky, which is a lovely blue. I do not need my ink again. I don't need my stamp again, so I'm going to pop that off to the side. We will need it, but in a minute. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to go in the kitchen and we're going to grab our scrubber. I literally took a pair of scissors and I cut my scrubber to create a small piece because I really don't want to be working with that great big piece. I'm now going to pick a colour to put on my flowers. I'm going to go with a touch of fresh freesia. I think that looks quite nice. Ignore my dirty ink pad. I think those two colours are going to work nicely together. So I'm going to open my ink pad and I'm going to take, just dust off from where I cut the scrubber, and I'm going to take my ink onto here and I'm going to tie it on my grid paper. Oh, that's very pale. I want something darker than that. It's very nice, but you won't see it. So I think I'm going to go for Gorgeous Grape, another shade of purple, but a bit darker. So let's try this. Yes, that's better. I don't know if you can see that. It's the effect this gives is if I had a stippling brush. Let me do a little bit first and then I can show you. Can you see? I don't know if it's very visible, but it's in real life it gives a beautiful, delicate application of colour, like a stippling brush would give. I don't have a stippling brush, so it wouldn't be a lot of good me trying to do it. But what I did have in the kitchen was my scrubby. So it's clean, obviously, and dry. I think it's very important to make sure it's dry as well. Otherwise, because we're working with water-based inks, we might end up with a bit of a mess. So I'm just adding this colour all from the centre, trying to get it dark in the middle and lighter going out. Some of them, that one, oh, this one might have a little bit coming through just round there. Now, can you see this? I'm not entirely sure if you can. It's very, very delicate. Okay, I'm now going to change my colour and I'm going to go for another bright shade, Melon Mambo. And I'm going to turn my scrubber the other way and I'm going to pick up the ink on there because I want to give it a little bit of a blue, a pink, not a blue, around the edges. And the colour just seems to, in real life, as I'm doing this, it's very delicate, but the colour just comes alive. So I love it. and it's not precise, and you don't have to be exact, and you do want to be very fluid and all those things that if you're a non-random person it's going to really struggle. But it doesn't matter if you have white bits, it doesn't matter if it goes over the lines. What matters is that you pick up the feeling of colour. You see, I've gone over there. Well, I don't know if you can see, but I'm hoping that when I've finished you will be able to see this, because I'm really happy with the way this is coming out. And this is another one of my super quick Make It Simple Monday projects, where you don't have to have lots of stash and you don't have to have lots of skill or anything else. Now, can you see this? I think you might see that on there. Little tiny speckles of colour. I think it's really pretty. I hope you do too. What I'm going to do next is pop this to one side because I don't need it. I'm going to brush off the area because I don't like the dusty bits. Remove my tape and voila, I have a beautiful space to stamp my sentiment in. Now I'm going to just very quickly tidy up this ink block so that I can use it for a sentiment. And while I'm doing that, which sentiment should I choose? We have sending many thanks for all you do, congratulations, you are wonderful in every way, friend, best wishes and happy birthday. Any choices? Hi Judy. We have a block. Now, what sentiment shall we go with? I like that. I think I might go sending many thanks for all you do, which I do believe is this one. Sending, yep, that one there. So let's take that. We've given it a moment to rest. I'm popping it on my block. I'm going to go back and find my Starry Sky ink pad. And then I'm going to ink her up. I'm going to try her out for the first time because she's a new stamp. Yep. Oh, there's a little bit. I've got a little extra on there on the edge of that stamp. Okay, we must be careful with that. Okay, so how do we deal with that? Well, first thing we're going to do is remove the piece of, can you see that tiny little piece of excess silicone, photopolymer there. Let's try it again. Perfect this time. See, never a problem, always a solution. So I'm going to pop my sentiment, let's line her up on the grid paper. Pop my sentiment down there. Light press, 1, 2, 3, and there we have it. How quick and easy is that? That took all of 5 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes of waffle, 5 minutes of crafting. I like it. Oh, can you see how pretty my photopolymer stamp has turned now because of the shades of purple and blue that have been placed on it? Okay, now I'll show you the card that I gave you a sneak peek of on the blog if you've been over there today. How different does that look? I've used the Melon Mambo Pink and Pale Papaya around the outside of the leaves, and I used black ink. Now, compare the two. What do we prefer? Do you prefer black ink, or do you prefer ink that coordinates with the colours that you're colouring it with? Or do you prefer black and white? Choices are just limitless. Great fun, easy to do. Now, while I'm sitting here and things are going through my brain, I've been wondering how I could use that stippling effect to make a nice background. Rather than filling in the colour on the flowers, could I create a background with it? I think I can. Let's get this second card base ready. See, it's picked up a bit of colour, but that's okay. We don't mind. I've still got my piece here. I am going to cut this in half. So I've got some smaller dabby bits. Technical term. And, oh, what shades? Shall I go green or shall I go blue? Shades of blue or shades of green? And no, I'm not going shades of grey. Thank you very much, Andrea. She's being very rude there. Let me move these things out the way. And these piles I've got, oh, I'm a messy crafter. I do not craft tidily. I do not craft. I just craft in a mess. Okay, so we've got Pacific Point, Balmy Blue. Oh, Kay said green. Oh, sorry, Kay. Green, let's get some nice greens out, shall we? Well, of course, we're going to have to go for good old Parakeet Party. What goes with Parakeet Party, I hear you ask? Well, I kind of think maybe some Pear Pizzazz and maybe some Evening Evergreen, or is that too dark? Should we give it a go? This is only for playing. I'm not making anything special. I am just having a go. I'm going to start with the lemon lime twist because it's my favourite. I like it a lot. So I've got lots of green on there. And I am just going to lay the colour on there. Oh, this is a good way to create a smudgy background without too much effort. If you are away, if you're on holiday or whatever, they're quick and easy to buy. Don't require much of anything, do they? Let's now go for a little bit of the Pear Pizzazz. Put your teeth in, Cary. Let's see what colour that comes up. Oh yes, I quite like that. And because you've got no solid edge, it gives a great background. This would be really good for those of you who like using high pat lemon lime twist. No, I'm not using lemon lime twist. This is good old Pear Pizzazz and Parakeet Party. And at the moment, we are creating almost a background feel to this. Hang on. Let's see if I can put that up there like that. Can you see? Is it visible? I don't know if this is a very good one for sharing on the online. I think I may have stopped. I don't know if you can still see me. So I'm going to rub off a bit there because I want to go back in with the what do we call it? Parakeet Party. So lighten that up a bit there. Okay, so we've done the greens. We're going to get to the darker green now, the Evening Evergreen. Now this is a much darker colour. Oh yeah, this works nicely on here. I like this. Might not be to everybody's taste. It is very subtle and is going to give you a very... What was the first colour I put on? The first colour is Parakeet Party. Then my brain is a mush today. I do apologise. Parakeet Party, Pear Pizzazz and Evening Evergreen. So you get this really subtle green background. If you like building scenes or things like creating a background for your animals and things, this would work beautifully for that because you can stamp over the top and still colour, I think. I think it would work. I haven't tried it yet, but I think it would work. So I now have this lovely speckled green background. I really wish you could see it. I don't know what's going on with the laptop. The laptop has stopped. I don't know if I've stopped being live. Hang on. Technical issues here. I do apologise. Just gone to see what's what. Whilst Andrea's checking for me, I'm going to have a quick look at these leaves. Oh, I like this. This might work really nicely to create a different kind of look to a card. Let's grab another block or two.
Are you just putting leaves on?
I am. So according to Andrea, I'm still live, so I'm not talking to myself. Thanks for that. I'm quite pleased. What shade of green should I use for my leaves? I'm going to go back with the Pear Pizzazz, I think. Let's see what we can do with this. Oh, I like this. This is a nice stamp. How simple. And I might go in with a different colour. Let's try the Parakeet Party. I'm just winging it here. I'm playing as I go along. I'm not so keen on that, but I do like all these shades of green. They do look beautiful together. Can't go wrong with a bit of green. Maybe one more here. Just like that. Okay. Very simple, very flat, single layer card. Now we need a sentiment. Wishing you all the happiness I can imagine. That sounds like a lovely thing to say to somebody. And I do believe I have another block here. So we've given it a little rest as we do with our photopolymers, but for this bit we are going to line up on our grid paper to try and get this straight. And I think I'm going to use Evening Evergreen. So this whole card is stamped using green inks. Now green, I was always told if you're writing in green, it's for jealousy. But it's a very dark green, this Evening Evergreen, and I think it'll work. It will for me. So I'm just going to put there, make sure it's straight down. 1, 2, 3. Definitely need my... You hear lemon line twist, but you can see Parakeet Party Pat. So, how simple was that? I really do enjoy playing with these things and trying to think of different ways for household items and ways to use them. And I think I'm enjoying using these scrubbies. I don't know what the real name for them is actually. They're kitchen scrubbers, kitchen cleaners, whatever. I think they're really cool. And they do give a different effect to a sponge. I've used the rough green side. I suspect you can get some white ones as well. But I've used the rough side because I wanted this to create the stippled effect. I didn't want to have a solid layer of colour. I'm not blending my colours in. Scourers. Thank you, Ali. And yes, Kay, I like being messy. So there we have it. 3 very different looking cards using a kitchen scourer and ink. I hope you've enjoyed this. Sorry I was a bit late. Fingers crossed next week we'll be back to normal times and normal service will be resumed. Once I've got one more idea to use for everyday household items, and then I think I'm going to get my Stamparatus out and I'm going to share how useful that is to create simple projects. It might sound like it's a big posh tool, but you can use it to make simple cards. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. And I hope where you are, the sun is shining, because here in Crawley, we've had rain. We've had to have the lights on all day. It's been dismal. And it's June. Who knew, hey? Anyway, take care, my lovelies. Look after yourselves and see you next week. Bye-bye.